Hello, hello. Welcome to Young Reech Capital. Let's dive right in. We're looking at Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart. I've put this right here because I'm waiting for a confirmation of the trade. As soon as we get a confirmation of this trend line break, I'm going to place a entry into this position. Basically, I'm going to be targeting this low right here. This is going to be the target. And I'm actually going to, for at the moment, to be safer, I'm going to target the VWAP rather than the previous low before this. So we get a much quicker move. All right, looks like we are starting to get some sort of confirmation. Perfect. Just gonna have to wait for a 5 minute candle to close below this trend line right here. As soon as we have that happen, we will enter into the trade. Until then, I'm not going to be entering into any trade. I'm just going to wait for the trade to break down from this trend line right here so that I can then place my bid into this position. It's going to give us a 1.8 hour trade. All right, perfect. Sounds good. Just going to have some patience and wait it out, see what happens. All right. All right, looks like we are set. I have shared the stream link on all my socials. We are now ready. We're just waiting for this candle to close below this trend line so we can enter into the trade. That would be a valid trade entry if we get a full body candle close below this. Looks like we are getting some support here. So go to the 1 minute. The 1 minute actually has much clearer picture right here. All right. So we still haven't entered into the trade. We're waiting on the price to show some confirmation below this trend line right here. As you can see, on this trend line, we just need some sort of confirmation and retest, and then we'll be on our way. All right, bring in this out here. All right, gotta just have some patience, wait it out. Also, there is another additional line of resistance that's coming up, which was this right here. If you notice, we had multiple support areas in this zone pretty much. So usually when we break down this massively from something like this, we tend to retest it and also kind of come back down, because now this is now going to have a lot of resistance out here, which is quite likely. Also, there's another additional reason as to why that's been happening. If you notice, we see this kind of higher high formation, right? Almost looks like an equal high, but looks more likely like an higher high. And if you notice, as I was mentioning on yesterday's stream, we have these lower high formations on the RSI, which is a bearish sign. So please do note that we are now starting to form some exhaustion on the Bitcoin chart. Also, we have had this massive dump out of nowhere, random. It's about 2 hours before the New York market open. It's not even a pre-market move. Usually the pre-market has some momentum, which is around here, but this was the pre-market move. Not really sure why that happened. Usually these massive swings don't really happen during this time of the day, which was at around 5 p.m. Eastern Indian Standard Time. So that would be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So usually the 5 a.m. morning sessions don't really have much going on. So it's kind of a suspect price action going on here. So let's see what happens. We're hoping that this zone is holding will hold as a resistance, which is precisely why I have set my stop loss just a tad bit over the resistance zone right here. I don't want to keep it exactly at the resistance because we might have some wicks going in and then coming down. So I do like this zone, and of course I'm waiting for some confirmation of the break of this trend line. As soon as we get a good confirmation, then we get some sort of a 3 bar candle formation, kind of something like that, where we have a big red candle, then we get a pullback, and then we get another red candle. That would give us a very good confirmation. The trade. Actually, we are pretty much getting a confirmation right away. Looks like it's gonna be starting very soon, and I am placed in a bearish bias right now because of very simple thing. As I mentioned, we had one, two, and three taps pretty much on the 1 minute time frame. Created this, we had this consolidation forming, and then we broke out of it right here on the fourth tap, which is a textbook move. Usually on the fourth tap, things start showing some momentum, right? And also we had this all-time high of 112,000 yesterday. So yeah, it's might be time for people to start taking profits. And of course, this is going to be our final confirmation, this massive dump that we saw just a couple of hours ago. So yeah, but there is one thing which is to be concerning is this right here, which is the rolling VWAP, the weekly 7-day rolling VWAP. So this is the 7-day rolling VWAP that we're seeing here. This blue line that you see here is the 7-day rolling VWAP. It's going to be a very important line to watch out for, because as you can see, we've come close to it. We took support. We had a pretty cool rally, right? Same thing right here as well. Beautiful support and rally, huge rally. So usually that happens about 3 times, 3 to 4 times. Same thing here. We broke out of it, and then boom, retested, boom. So the reason why I'm slightly bearish now is because this is going to be our one, two, third tap, right? So I'm gonna start having to look for some potential bearish scenarios, but at the same time, we still have some outreach for a bullish move as well if we reclaim this horizontal line that we see right here. We need to reclaim this because this was the prior low, yesterday's low, this range, right? So this is going to be your low of yesterday's range, and this is going to be the high of yesterday's range. So as long as we can kind of reclaim this, then I can look for some potential bullish moves, and we can target this high of $112,000 again. If we don't reclaim it, which is most likely that we're probably not going to reclaim it because it's not going to come back. Because if we break the VWAP and we start kind of closing below it, going to be pretty nasty for Bitcoin. Let me tell you, we're going to probably end up going all the way down to the 101K marker right here, because this is going to be our big order block move, huge order block right here. This entire consolidation would consider as a support zone. And what we can do is, yeah, we can just set it up like so, and then maybe add a midline to this, get rid of something like this. Would be an important zone. So the 100K, 102K region. I hope we are getting good signal. Not sure what's going on. Right, anyway, so this is gonna be our situation right now on BTC. Let's just wait, have some patience, and hold on. Trade entry only after. Gotta be clear on this. See, we still haven't got the complete breakdown of this move. So we have not yet we've not yet entered into the trade. Just gotta wait it out. And I don't know, this kind of price action is a bit funky because it's kind of forming a bull flag pattern. It's a bullish pattern what it's forming right here, but because many times it can fail and come back down. Let's see. Still have this. We have to still kind of come into this trend line. We haven't yet tapped into this trend line. Very important to come in here. Let's see what happens at this trend line. So at the moment, let me get rid of this so we can just wait and trade entry only after trend line, either trend lines. Right? It's quite simple, which means to say it's either we break out of this trend line, the upper one, or we break down from the lower one. Either or, right? So it depends. As soon as we get a break of these, then we start kind of looking forward to taking a trade. At the moment, I feel like the market is inducing players to kind of take a trade. Don't think we might go up any further. We might kind of come back down. That's pretty much what I'm looking forward to, but I can be wrong. Nothing, no problem. Nothing wrong in being wrong. Anyway, let's just have some patience and wait it out, see what happens. All right. As I had mentioned, we were waiting for the trend line to break. Now, hopefully, we get a retest of some sort. Let me mark this out right here. So, this would now be the potential trade opportunity. Let's target a 2 hour trade. Simple trend line break and retest strategy right here, playing out live. Also, there's something to be concerned about right here is that we have this trend line that we broke out of, and we are now taking support here. So there's a possibility that it might actually go back up. But let's just wait and see what happens, which is why setting the stop loss right above here. Small, quick trade. I'm also going to set this up right here as well. So now this is going to be our support zone, the Fibonacci golden ratio. Right here is going to be a support area. Let's just wait and see what happens. As soon as we get tagged into this trade, we are going to then get a good retest of this lower trend line. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, this was a heavy flash move, but it's expected because we're at price discovery now and almost way above the all-time high, no? So a lot of people will be taking profits at this point. Pretty big move also. Move of about 3,500 points, 3% move. Huge move. Just gonna wait now for the retest of this resistance zone now. Get a retest and then we come back down. Pretty much hoping to target something like this. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. EU tariffs. Okay, interesting. Funny stuff going on. Yeah, but that was quite a big move for such a breaking news situation. Okay, in the meantime, I'm just going to quickly go over some. Oh, by the way, EOS has changed its ticker from EOS to something called, it's got a notification. It's going to be called Volta, VAULTA. So that's why we're seeing here EOS has been removed from TradingView. Trading so well. But yeah, nice. Quickly go through the yeah, beautiful. Look at my breakdown of SUI. As I had said, I had set up the marker of 4.228 and look at how clean the reaction was at this level. Came back down. The next support areas are these values. Fartcoin, damn. That's a pretty big move on Fartcoin as well. Look at this. Crazy move. I had mentioned that we are looking quite bullish on Fartcoin and we did get a massive move from this demand zone. What was it? 31%. Crazy. Peanut. Pretty much trading sideways right now. This is going to be a support zone. Trump token. Mr. Akil Yajman's favorite token. Trump looks alright, still trading sideways. Ondo, also same thing. Tapped into my supply zone and coming down. Pendle, Yeah, we are still in the trade on Pendle, still in profits. Pendle looking really good though. Looking really, really good. Look at this beautiful reaction right here. Essentially trying to target that $5 mark, $5.5 mark. As long as we kind of get a good reaction above this trend line, might have to fix up some new trend lines. But at the moment, we're all right. We're still tagged into this trade. I'd recommended this swing trade on, I think it was 14th May, right? Somewhere around here, yeah, 14th May when I set this up. So we are pretty much looking good on Pendle. And I don't think we're going to come down below this level. Even if we do, we have a lot of support. We have the VWAP as support. We have the zone as now converted into a demand zone as well. So looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to switch this up. I don't know why I'm not able to. Oh, there we go. All right. So now we have this as a demand zone on Pendle. I think Pendle has been one of the most cleanest. Pendle and Fartcoin have been one of the most cleanest charts in the market right now. Overall, looking pretty good on the Pendle trade. You can probably look to re-enter out here or add to a position. Of course, this is going to be the invalidation. I might like to move my stops now to this low right here. Pendle looking good. Let's look at Zen. Yeah, Zen is all right. Nothing great. Dogecoin. Dogecoin looks pretty good. As I had said, we did get this break of this trend line. We didn't get this 20 cent mark, which I had marked out on the chart. Came close to it though. Was hoping to get a better reaction at these lows to make a position. But looks like we didn't get a move here. So doesn't matter. Let me now set up some potential trend line opportunities. Right. Yeah, it looks pretty alright, pretty good. Dogecoin actually looks really good though, without a doubt. Forming this bullish structure, getting a retest of this, then we might go back up. I think the next target for Dogecoin will be this move right here. 27 cents will be the next target for Dogecoin. Unless Bitcoin starts dumping, then there won't be any hope for any token. Solana, I'm going to break down Solana and XRP and Tau and Pengu, right? That was it. Yes. These are all my top movers for this bull market. All right, let's just break down Solana. Very interested in breaking down Solana right now. Been putting it off for quite some time. I think today is the day that we do the Solana chart. Go get some water. And let's get started. All right. This is Solana. Let me set up some trend lines. There we go. Beautiful. And of course, I would love to set up some key levels. This would be a zone actually, right here. I'm going to set it up in white because we are consolidating here, which means to say that it is still yet to be decided what the price wants to do out here. So let me just keep it as a zone and then set up some resistance and support levels. All right. And this was the low right here. This is also going to be a zone. So let me do something like this. This is going to be a demand zone. Since we are close to, pull up the 1 day chart, right? Yeah, so since we are close to the all-time highs, daily chart would be better to look at. Right, right. So this would be an additional move. Solana right here. These are going to be some key levels for Solana. Oh, that's 16 cents. Solana had gone down to 2,890%. Wow, what a move, Solana, during this bear market. Yeah, it is what it is. Missed out on a lot of opportunities on this Solana trade, but and also let me set this up as well. Looks like we might get this. This is something quite interested in. Right. So this is now going to be some interesting stuff that will play out on Solana. We have some simple levels, nothing too complicated. If I go into the 1 hour lower time frame, we will get to see something, yeah, along the same lines. Of course, just set this up as a range high. Cool. So if I set up some potential price points for Solana, it would be these. These would be the price markers. Let me pull up the 4 hour chart. All right. This is going to be potential price targets for Solana and also key levels as well. So these levels are going to be key levels on Solana. And of course, we do have this bullish trend line that's forming. As soon as we start creating some sort of structure below this trend line, then we can look to take some shots, or maybe you can also play it with a breakdown kind of a trade without a retest, because that breakdown will give you something close to at least about 20%, close to 20%. That's if we kind of move with a strong candle towards the downside. Anyway, these four levels are going to be very important, super important for Solana. Yep, absolutely something to look out for. But let me set it up like so. All right. So 219, $220 would be a good target in the next move for Solana. This would be the next target right here. Of course, we need Bitcoin to stay bullish. Otherwise, we can expect something like this, and then we come back to the $122 mark. Right? So that's what it is. We pull up the VWAP, set it up for the 30 days. I love to set up the VWAP with 30-day setting, because just look at how clean the price action trades with the 30-day VWAP, right? All these awesome confirmations broke down, then we had this move, broke up, we had this move, broke down, and we had this massive move, broke up again, and then we had this massive move. And it's always the case with the 30-day VWAP, pretty much. Of course, it won't be exact all the time. We might have some peakers, as I call it. We might peak above or below the VWAP every now and then, but consider the VWAP as a median line, right? A line that reaches to a point which is the mean, the mean of the price, like a fair value. VWAP would be considered as a fair value. So at the moment we're sitting at 162, right? On the 4 hour. Let me actually pull up the 1 hour. So the 1 hour will actually give us a good idea. It's the same thing. So this would then next would be our next price target, 160, 162, right? So, all right. So this is gonna be our move on Solana. These are gonna be our targets, key levels. Immediate target is gonna be the 219, 220 level right here. I'm just gonna circle it and just gonna leave it at that. This is gonna be our immediate target. So please do note that we have this as our next target 219, or consequently if we move down we will have the 162 as our next target. Let me highlight that as well. This is going to be our next target, the downside. If we go further down below, we will have the 122 marker as our next target. All right, that was Solana, and I hope we can have a good altcoin season with Bitcoin kind of being stable. That would be pretty good to watch out for on Solana, because we do look pretty good. We have some targets to the upside that would give us a move of about 16 to 20%, and likewise same similar targets to the downside as well. All right, so that was Solana, and yeah, just use these levels, mark them out on your chart, pause the video, and if you're looking at what kind of indicators I'm talking about, this is the rolling VWAP, and these are going to be the settings. You can pause the video and set it up. And this is going to be the RSI histo alert strategy. These are going to be my settings. This is my settings for this, the display, the appearance. And that's pretty much it. Like to keep things simple and trade accordingly. All right, so that was Solana. Let's move on to the next one, which is XRP. All right, the XRP chart looks pretty cool actually, no doubt. Ever since I think Dubai um, made some major moves with XRP and created a payment system with XRP. Let me just look at that. Look it up. Ripple secures Dubai Financial Services Authority. Yeah, Dubai license. Yep. Allowing firms in Dubai International Financial Center to incorporate the cryptocurrency. Interesting. Yep. So, which is why we had this massive move right here. Huge, crazy move. 500% since July of last year. Oh, what a move. What a move. Pretty crazy move actually. So, how can we now approach XRP? Let's take a look. We set up some situations playing out with the XRP token. There we go. No, just like it was in July, right here. We'll take a look. July is when the price broke out of this massive uptrend, downtrend, right? That's what I consider as the start of the move, right here. So we consolidated above the trend line, and then we broke out of it. So this is where the smart money and the big players placed all their bids, and then it moved up. Oh yeah, it was technically in November. You can say that, but I consider this move as the breakout rather than this move. Even though we had something similar happen here, but yeah. Anyway, so what are we looking at? We set up some key levels. XRP, going to the 4-hour chart. Because I hardly think that we're going to go below the 1.6 level. This is going to be a very important level right here. This 1.6307. Because if we go below this, we can expect this price of, I don't think that's gonna happen. We can expect a price of 63 cents. This trend line is showing me a potential price of 3 cents, but I don't think XRP is going to come to 3 cents. That's going to be a highly unlikely target. But if there's another additional target that's possible, it could be something like this low right here, which or this. Let me do it like this. Yep, right. 67 cents. That would be a more probable target to keep in mind. Then we have this as well. Yeah, so basically this zone right here, the 1.6 all the way up to the 1.78 is going to be a very key level of support for XRP. And of course, we do have this as well. This then going to, why are we getting rejected here? Is my question. Interested in that. Also, we are also now breaking out of XRP's downtrend. So that's an additional confirmation. I feel like all the altcoins are doing that pretty much, kind of breaking out, breaking down from, breaking up, breaking out from the downtrends that it's been doing in the past month or so. And it's okay. So let me do something like this in this situation, because the reason why I'm interested in not making too many uh, drawings on the chart is because it's going to make it messy. Rather, because this is essentially a range, right? This would be the range highs and this would be the range lows, right? Which is essentially a 39-40% range that it's been forming for a while. So what can we expect on XRP, right? Instead of this trend line right here, I would like to pay attention to this trend line. We change the direction, set it up like so. All right. And this is then also going to be a key level. So what I can do, what I'd rather prefer to do is set up the Fibonacci and draw in the 50% level of the range. So this is also going to be a key level, right here, 2.35. These levels are going to be super key, highly interested in trading XRP when it breaks out of this 2.9 level. It would be very good trade. As soon as we break from this, then we might go up. At the moment, I'm looking at this as my next target of 1.6307, or rather, this would be my next target 1.789, the 1.8 level, 1.78, whatever, at close to this level right here. So, whatever I'm highlighting are going to be important levels on XRP. So, this is what we're looking at. I personally wouldn't say that it's anything interesting right now, and there's only the only thing interesting about the chart right now is this break right here of the trend line. Other than that, we're still trading within this range, right? Essentially this range. So until and unless we get some confirmation above these levels or between or below these levels, that's the only time I'd be interested in looking at some potential trades. But in the meantime, there are a lot of opportunities to take scalps and stuff. But honestly, XRP, ever since we had this massive pump, it's just been cooling off. And usually, when there's a lot of smart money inflows into these kind of tokens and a lot of interest from big money players, the price tends to kind of just range. And the range is quite big though. There are a lot of opportunities available. And that's when the VWAP comes into play, right? So if you look at the VWAP, simple as I always say, break down, retest, break down. And these moves if you just trade the breakdown itself, it's a 36% move. If you trade the retest, that's again a 25% move. If you trade the breakout, that's a 21% move. If you break the breakdown, again 22%. Of course, we do have some fakeouts that happen out here. That's why we have invalidations. Set your stop loss below certain lows, and then you'll be good to go. And then you can take the opposite trade. Once we break down here, we retest into the VWAP, and then boom. So that's again going to give us a 25% move. So if you're taking a trade right here, and you set your stop loss, that would have been a 7-6% loss. But you would have ended and essentially made it up by taking this trend of 23%, and that's pretty massive recovery without a doubt. And of course, we broke up again to this 25%. The VWAP is sweet indicator, lovely rolling VWAP, one of the best indicators out there. Way better than the EMA and all of these other moving averages and stuff like that. Anyway, so this is XRP on the 4 hour time frame, and this is what we're looking at. These are going to be key levels. Let me get rid of all of this. These four levels are going to be very key. And please do note, if we start breaking down below this low, we can expect the 67 cent price. Absolutely possible. So I don't think the price is going to be going below the 67 cents. So what I'm going to do, I have this instinctive feeling that we're going to come back into the zone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a trade like so. Then I'm going to target this 6 hour trade. Just to be on the safe side, I am going to set it up like this. 3 hour trade, because we have an order block sitting here. We have this consolidation zone. Set it up like this. Let me see. Yep, right. This would be an ideal opportunity like this. Safe trade, clean trade, right? So this would be my potential trade on XRP. This is where I'd be looking to take a long on XRP. Until then, I'm just gonna just let it do its thing. This is the only place where I'd like to take the trade, and I have a lot of room for the price to do its thing. Uh, Set the stop loss slightly below these. So we have this consolidation zone, which I might expect the price to sweep this low and then essentially come into this and then go back up. So even if we do that, which is why I'm setting my stop loss just below this level, right? And of course, very small risk, high reward. It's going to be a 3.4 hour trade. Small risk. But I honestly think, and I see that we've already had a liquidity sweep right here. So I don't think that might happen, because if we do come and do that out here, then we might expect much lower prices of the 67 mark. So the price will be defended quite heavily out here. So which is why I want to place my trade here. And of course, my invalidation will be right here. Simple. Very simple trade, no complicated situations in this trade at all. But this is what I'm looking at for XRP. And yeah, let's just see what the price does and play it based on the Bitcoin price action, of course. All right, next up we have Tao. Tao is a beautiful token. Look at that lovely response of the trendline break of 13% move. I had provided this opportunity on 21st. That was just 2 days ago. I think not 2 days ago. I think I had set it up on 17th when it was around this zone, right? Somewhere around here I'd set it up. So if I recall correctly, this I was expecting this to happen rather than a move down. I was expecting a move up. So that's what happened. And Dow is hyper bullish right now. Super, super bullish. We do have some key levels which I'd like to mark out on this chart. This is absolutely going to be a very, very important zone of confluence right here. It's going to be our supply zone. And we got some more key levels as well. Set that up. All-time high. This is going to be the range low. In between, we have we have a zone of confluence, right? Let me be more precise with that. The zone of confluence is going to be something like this, right? Yes, that's what we got for the moment. I'm gonna also set up some price labels as well. And look at the price, that's $450. I was trading Dow at around $260. Trading it out here. I was trading it out here as well. $300 to $260 and stuff. Major moves on Dow. Really good. Really good price action on Dow. One of the top movers as well in this. These are so basically what I'm essentially providing to viewers or my live streams on especially my watch list are all the tokens that trade really well, except for there are some exceptions. For example, Ondo hasn't been trading that well, Zen hasn't been trading that well, but overall these tokens do have really great potential in general, or has really good volume as well, and they do have pretty good tokenomics as well. That's another additional bonus to watch out for. So anyway, this is Tau, and there we go. We do also have the VWAP at 399. Where do I have There we go. So these are going to be some key levels right here. That's going to be the VWAP, $401. There we go. Boom. So if we just observe the price with the VWAP confluence, we have these prices, key levels, support and resistance zones. And also we do have a lot of confluence out here. You can see this is going to be a very strong resistance zone, and of course if we end up flipping this, I'm absolutely going to go long and target this 590 mark, which is going to give me something like not much small trade, but it's a trade worth taking nevertheless, because if at all we start seeing some strength above these levels, price is going to rally until we hit this consolidation zone. Anyway, that's precisely why I've set up these price markers. You can pause the video and take a look and mark it out on your chart and trade according to these levels. And you can trade these levels on the lower time frames way easier based on simple levels of confluence. Instead of marking out multiple levels, going through n number of indicators and getting confused to where the price is going to deviate towards and all of those things, just let the price react at these levels and trade accordingly. Simple as that. So this is Tau. Next up, I'm going into Popcat, also another token that I've traded quite a lot this season. Popcat is a lovely token to trade. Let me set up the VWAP immediately. We have the VWAP at about 44 cents. All right, give me up this. That's the VWAP right there. And look at the kind of support that it's taken at the VWAP, right? So quite bullish, and also kind of forming a cup and handle situation. Huge potential on Popcat. So, and we are quite early though. If you can observe, Popcat is a relatively new token, and we are looking pretty good. We haven't really pumped on Popcat, so this is one of the few tokens that I've found out of all the meme coins that have already made its move and essentially done its trading and completed its volume requirements for uh, the zones of support and resistance within the chart. Simple stuff. It might look like and sound like I'm using too many words. All I'm saying is that Popcat is a good token to buy into at the moment. Definitely a good buy. Popcat is absolutely a good token to look into. So in the meantime, let me just set up some key levels, support and resistance zones. And please keep in mind that all of these levels that I'm setting up are essentially going to be key levels. So the price might go slightly above and below. Doesn't have to always be exact and precise because, of course, the market is a dynamic market. So it's going to do its own thing when it reaches these levels, but absolutely going to be very important and it's going to show some major reactions. That's a better way to put it, is the price will show good reaction when it reaches these levels, right? Whether it's to the downside or to the upside. And of course, you can use trend lines to show you better confirmations. Right. So this is what we're looking at on Popcat. Do have another level that I'm looking at right here. Important level of support forming on Popcat. Additionally, we do have, see right here. This would then, now I'd like to set it up as some sort of a zone of confluence rather. Something like this. Of course, I'd love to do this as well. Beautiful. So these are going to be some key levels on Bobcat. Let me mark it out. Key level number 1, key level number 2, key level number 3, key level number 4. And that's it for now. I don't want to push it further. I like to just keep 4 key levels throughout my chart, especially when it comes to the higher time frames, because usually the price doesn't deviate more than 4 key levels in a span of 2 to 3 months. If it does, it has to be a massive, massive move. For example, what Ethereum did recently, right? That was a massive move where it deviated beyond 2 to 3 key levels that people didn't expect it to deviate further from. So these are going to be some key levels for Popcat. Set it up neatly. All right. And of course, do note that we do have this VWAP as well. So I can set it up like this. This would be a better key level. So trade ideas for Popcat. What am I looking at? Essentially, what I'm looking at is some sort of reaction at these levels, the 45 and the 16 cent level, anywhere between this. As soon as the price starts breaking down below these levels, then I'd be a buyer for sure. If we end up, from according to me personally, I feel like we're going to tap into the 75 cent level sooner rather than later. So this would be a potential trade opportunity for Popcat. Keep a very, very small stop loss, get a 4-hour trade, right? Because as you can see, this consolidation is very important. As soon as we start breaking down below this consolidation, the price is inevitably going to deviate towards this consolidation zone. And if we end up doing something like this, that would reduce our risk, our reward. So let's keep the trade small with a very small risk and a high reward. So that would be a better opportunity. Of course, if the price comes into this zone, you do have another additional opportunity to take a long. So let me set up another opportunity like so. And I put this as my low and target this high. That would again give me a 4-hour trade. So these are my two trade opportunities for Popcat. This Right. So these are some potential trade opportunities for PopCap. As soon as we get a retest of this level or this level. Of course, if we come into this zone, absolutely a good buy right here. This zone is going to be a good buy, no doubt. Without a doubt, there is 100% certainty that once it comes into this level, the price is going to react quite massively. But I don't think we're going to come so low. Might happen, absolutely. So just to be sure, play it with your trend line pace. It's gonna, if it comes down, we'll have a downtrend, and as soon as we break out of the downtrend, then you can take the trade. That's something like this, right? That's what I'm saying. So when we come here, we might get a breakout here, so that give us this move. Anyway, so these are some potential trade ideas for Popcat. This is on the 4-hour chart. These are all swing trades. I do not provide any scalp opportunities on altcoins because it doesn't make any sense do that unless I'm trading live. That's the only time I provide trading opportunities for scalpers and intraday traders, right? That's the only time I provide these opportunities for scalps. Other than that, I'm most likely going to only provide trade ideas for an higher time frame charts on altcoins because usually the altcoins react better on higher time frames and it's easier to find more confluence on a higher time frame for altcoins. Scalping altcoins is all it's a very hectic and difficult task to undertake unless you have the experience to do it, then by all means go for it. But I would recommend, taking it easy, have the patience, and just wait it out and trade with the higher time frame. You'll have a lot less of a stressful endeavor approaching altcoins and these meme coins or whatever on a higher time frame. So these are going to be the key levels for Popcat, and we shall see how the price reacts accordingly, and we'll trade it based on that. Pengu, also another pretty cool token which I've traded this season. And this is going to be the last token on my watch list that I'm going to be analyzing. And after that, I am just going to let it do its thing, or let all the altcoins do its thing. And I'm just going to do a brief breakdown of pretty much all the tokens every now and then so that I don't have to constantly go back to the chart and change things and whatever. Because usually when I do a breakdown of a higher time frame, it's going to give a lot of opportunity for the long term investors. Right. So we're looking at Pengu. Pengu is a meme coin which has been trading pretty well. We had this interesting accumulation, a distribution, and then accumulation, and of course, big move. We did kind of manipulate below this low as well. So we had this manipulation and then we distributed up again. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Right. What are we looking at? We don't really have too many key levels on Pengu because it's a relatively new token. You can just look at these levels as potential opportunities. Um, I'd like to set this up as a key level. That's where we had a sweep of liquidity below this level. Going to come back here. If it has to come back here, it's going to be this level. Set this up. Yeah, we have a lot of space to work with on this chart of Pengu. Lot of space. So let me pull up the lower time frame. All right, yeah, so we do have some key levels out here as well. This is going to be a key level. See how clear and clean the price has been reacting from this level of this resistance. Same thing out here as well. And near short-term targets are going to be, this is going to be a zone actually, rather than anything else. It's going to be a zone of support, demand zone right here. Right. So this is going to be a price point, potential price point, opportunity right here. This is the Pengu chart on the 1 hour time frame. Mm, what else do we have on Pengu? Nothing much, I would say. It's just pretty simple, this chart. Nothing too major happening. There's a lot of volatility, though. You can see it's been doing its own things out here. A lot of volatility. I haven't been trading Pengu a lot. I did trade Pengu on this move, also this move as well. I didn't trade much out here, but I did trade Pengu in this move. There was a lot of volume, which is why I traded this. Then after that, I haven't been trading Pengu a lot. If I do have to show you one more opportunity, it would be the VWAP. Beat this level right here. Boom. Great. So that's going to be the potential price targets for Pengu. Nothing too great, to be honest. So let me move this down. I'd like to keep tokens that do really well on top. Doge has been looking pretty good as well. Um, Other than that, I do like Sui. Sui has been bullish. Absolutely, we have all of these levels that I'd set up. As I said, I'd have to switch it up a bit now. This is going to be our new confluence move on Sui token. There we go. That's it, pretty much. Pretty simple. Key level. Essentially, this trend line is now going to be the key level. 3.4 marker. Yeah, I think we come into this trend line and tap into the zone right here, somewhere around the 3.35 mark. That's where I'll be looking for some longs. So this is what we're looking at for Sui. What's happening with the VWAP? Oh, okay, very interesting. We have now started breaking down from the VWAP. It's actually quite an interesting thing to watch out for because, as I always say, that the VWAP is a very important confluence indicator. As soon as we start breaking below the VWAP, it means to say that the volume is now starting to decline and we might see some potential move to the downside. So do be aware of this. This is Sui on the 1 hour time frame where we're getting a breakdown, almost getting a breakdown of this of the VWAP. We are at present taking support at exactly at the VWAP. If I have to zoom in, of course, we do have this massive fair value gap as well. Right. There we go. Let me set up the midline. It'll be a consequent encroachment. Beautiful. This is what we're looking at for Sui right now. This is going to be an important level. So if anybody looking for a trade, this might be a good opportunity to take a trade like so. Give you a 2.4 hour trade. Target this trend line. Maybe these lows. So that would give you a 2.4 hour trade. Maybe kind of clean it up slightly. Just keep it at a simple 2 hour trade. And yeah, that's going to be my trade idea for Sui right now because we do have a massive fair value forming out here. So yeah, that's it for my altcoin breakdowns. I will be back soon to go over all the breakdowns that I've done and let's quickly take a look at Ethereum and what price levels that I had set up. Oh, this chart is way too messy. Yeah, I do not like messy charts. This is really annoying. Get rid of all of these things, unnecessary price points. All right, so I think we are all right for now. Okay, cool. So these are going to be some key levels for Ethereum. I think I had set up some key levels out here as well. Okay, them to the side. I think this chart is way cleaner. I'd like to trade with this chart rather than the other one. This chart has a way better zone of confluence. As you can see, we do have some sort of a break of this trend line, but it's not complete. We did close back above the trend line, so it's all right. Pretty okay. There's no problem as such at the moment on Ethereum. But we might also break down. So there can be some cause for concern, no doubt. We get rid of all of these things. I'm not really interested in this at the moment. Um, to trade Ethereum, so I'd like to use the same chart that I set up before. Right. So yeah, this is all right. I mean, same thing pretty much on this chart as well. This is going to be a key level 2539, and yeah, this is going to be the trend line to watch out for, along with this one and this one as well. As soon as we start breaking down from this, right? Let me change this to a white color, because usually when we reach and consolidate within a zone, I like I like to keep a neutral color. So if you look at this, we are now slowly trying to break down from this. And then if I pull up the VWAP, look at the price of the VWAP. The price of the VWAP target is going to be 2244. Let's copy this right here. 2243. Yeah. All right. So this is going to be my thesis on Ethereum. We also do have some potential opportunity. I'm looking at a short opportunity rather than a long, because look at the divergence forming on Ethereum. It's a massive bearish divergence on the 1 hour chart, right? So that's pretty crazy, the divergence forming. So please do be aware of taking any impulsive trades on Ethereum. We have some equal highs, so starting to look bearish as well. I'm going to be looking to take some potential long opportunities around these levels. This is going to be a very important level. Leave it highlighted for now. That's going to be the 2084 level. I'd like to set up a marker like this as well. 2075, right? So these four levels are going to be super key levels, and I had set this up 3314, right? Because it aligns with the higher time frame, the long term downtrend Fibonacci golden pocket situation. So these are going to be some key levels for Ethereum. Set that up. Something like that. Right. That's Ethereum. And we can expect 2800. But at the moment looks like we're getting rejected. So let me change the actually no, I do not want to do that, because we do have a lot of highs sitting here. We do have some liquidity above this. So this is still a potential target, right? We might come back down. So these are some opportunities. Let's see how Ethereum plays out. Right now, I'm just going to be a scalper on Ethereum, not going to be trading swing moves, because we've started to consolidate within this zone. It's not a good time to trade Ethereum. Let it break some levels, and then we'll see what happens. All right. What's BTC Bitcoin doing on the higher time frame? Yeah, this is what I've been saying, been saying this, continuously been saying that we are trading at all-time highs. We are going to get a liquidity sweep. That's precisely what we did get. Look at that. Got a liquidity sweep and move to the downside. Pretty cool to see something like this happen. And as soon as we trade back above the zone, we're going to tap into the 118K price target. I've already set it up. These are going to be some price targets for Bitcoin. Set it up. Very simple. Of course, the chart does look a bit messy, but it is what it is. Let's just pay attention just to these price points. Play the market accordingly. All right. It was a great live stream. I really enjoyed breaking down the charts, and also looks like our trade is also playing out in our favor. Going to hit our target very soon. Like to move my stop to this high right now, and I think we're going to play it out and we're going to hit our trade. That's a 3 hour trade now. It's almost not a 3 hour trade. That was a 2 hour trade that I provided. Now you can move your stop to this high right here, so you'd be pretty much risk off. And yeah, looks pretty good. I like how the price is playing out. As I said, it's simple trade, not at all complicated. Gonna hit our target real soon, and looks like we are going back to these lows, probably also breaking the 107K, because my next target, to be honest, is the 102 and 100K region. This is going to be my next target right here. This is going to be my next target. So for those of y'all who are interested in holding a trade, you can absolutely hold it, but do take 50% of your trade out here. Take some profits at least, and then move your stops to break even, so you can hold the trade just in case it starts completely moving down all the way to the 100K, 102K region. All right, so looks like we're gonna hit full TP in this within the stream itself. Lovely, lovely trade playing out. Beautiful, simple trend line break and retest strategy on this trade. Lovely trade. Beautiful stuff. This stream has a lot of information packed in, so please do go back and rewind and pause and look at all the charts. I've done a technical analysis breakdown of all the altcoins that I have on my watch list. A lot of potential opportunities available right now in the market. Absolutely good time to be alive. Also a good time to be part of the crypto market. Let's take it one step at a time. Have the patience to slowly build our wealth together. Try to find the clarity in all of the chaos that exists in today's world. Keep it simple, and goal is to enjoy ourselves and essentially, you know, be happy more than anything. All right, I think that's it for today's live stream. I will be back soon. I do not go live on the weekends, so hope you all have a great weekend. Please trade safely, take care of yourselves. I will see you all on the next one.